Veggies Corner, we're going to look at data graphs. So we're just going to look at some examples of different type of graphs that you can get data from. The first one says the bar graph below shows the average number of minutes Frank spends each week participating in 4 activities. So if you look at our graph, we have the activities across the bottom. We have the number of minutes on our y-axis there. And our question says, based on the information shown in the bar graph, which value is most likely? And when you see most likely, it means you're probably going to have to estimate. You might not get the exact answer right away, but you should then look to see what answer closely matches what you have received. So most likely is the difference between the number of minutes Frank will spend reading. Reading is here. The next 4 weeks, and the number of minutes Frank will spend gaming. So we're looking at these two, but the biggest thing is here we're talking about 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Up here we're talking about each week. So there's the first way we can do this is just take 175 minus 120. So this is for 1 week. And that gives me 55. And then I can multiply that by 4. And that gives me 220. So there's a 220-minute difference in 4 weeks. Well, 224 is pretty close. Now, the other way we could have done this is instead of looking at them individually, just say, okay, there's a reading is 175 minutes, and there's 4 weeks, which would give you 700. And then you can subtract the gaming minutes, which is 120 again times the 4 weeks. And that gives you 480. And when you subtract again, you get 220. So again, we're still at 224 is our best answer. So the biggest thing here is just making sure that you're reading the question and answering what they're asking. All right, let's take a look at the next one. And this one's, we're looking at a circle graph. So this question says the circle graph below shows the percent of the total number of students enrolled in a high school who are in each grade. Okay, so we have school enrollment. We can see it's by percent, not by the number of students. Now, we're going to add on to that. It says there are currently 448 freshmen enrolled in the high school. And about 75% of seniors enrolled in the high school will attend college next year, which is most likely the number of seniors currently enrolled in the high school who will attend college next year. So we kind of have a lot going on. We don't know exactly how many students are there, but once we find the number of students in our high school, then we can start looking at how many seniors are there, what percentage of seniors are going to high school is 75%, and go from there. So our link is we need to find the number of students. So let's start with the given information. We have 448 students, which we know as freshmen, which we know is 28%. So I set it up here that 448, that's the number of freshmen, is equal to 28% of whatever that total number of students is. So that's really what we're looking for. We need to solve for x. So if I divide both sides by 0.28, I end up with 1,600 total students. Okay, so of those total students, the first thing we have to do is we have to figure out how many seniors there are. So we're going to take the total students, and the seniors is 24%. So that's 384 seniors. So now let's see what the question says. About 75% of the seniors enrolled, right? 75% of this 384 will attend college, which is most likely the number of seniors currently enrolled in high school that will attend college next year. So we're going to take that 384. That's the number of seniors. And we're going to multiply that by the percent, which is 75% going to college. And we get 288. I'm looking for my answers, and I do have exactly 288 seniors will go to college next year. Okay, let's take a look at one more. The owner of an ice cream stand conducts a random survey of 50 people to determine which ice cream flavor customers prefer to buy. The bar graph below shows the result of the survey. So this right here is of 50 people. Okay, we can see their flavors and number of customers. So let's see what they want us to do with that. The ice cream stand is expected to serve 350 customers on the first day of summer. Based on the result of the survey, which value is most likely the number of customers who will buy an ice cream flavor other than chocolate? So anything but chocolate on the first day of summer. Okay, so there's actually 3 different methods you can do. So we're going to do them one at a time. So one way we could solve this is we could say, well, again, this is 50, but I need to kind of estimate what 350 is going to be. So one way we could do this is we know 18, right? This is about 18 if I look at that bar graph, is chocolate. If there's 50 people surveyed, that means 32 people did not say chocolate. So 32 over 50. Okay? And that is about 0.64. Okay? So when I multiply, 64% are not choosing chocolate. So now I'm going to take 350, which is the new group of people. I'm going to multiply that by 64, and I get about 224. Okay, which is an answer. That's one way to do it. Okay. My other way is I'm going to look at, again, we said there's 32 that don't want chocolate. Okay. And if I notice this is 50 and we want to go to 350. Well, if I multiply that by 7, I get 350. So if I multiply my number of people, customers that don't want chocolate, I can just multiply that by 7, right? Because we said 50 times 7 is going to get me 350. That's also going to get me 224. So if you notice that relationship, that's okay. Okay, the last method we could use is we could set up a proportion. So I had 32 over 50, right? So 32, that's my non-chocolate, and 50 is my total number of people. All right, so we're going to set that up. And again, the question, what is the unknown? The question is how many people will choose the non-chocolate. So that's what we're looking for, non-chocolate. And this is out of 350 people. So we have the number of total people on the bottom, and we have the non-chocolate ice cream lovers on the top. Now, again, we can do that butterfly method where we cross multiply. So 50 times x is 50x. We can multiply 32 times 350. So we get 50x is equal to 11,200. Divide both sides by 50. And we have x is equal to 224. So there's 3 different methods to solve the same one. Now, the same problem. Now, again, I estimated this at 18. It could have been 17. You estimated, and then our numbers would be slightly off. But again, it's fine because we don't have numbers that are super close to 224. It's not like if you had 220, you wouldn't know what to do. You would still know that 224 is close. Okay, thanks so much for stopping by today. You have a great day.